Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
QU has a clown scare, and CGA holds an event for students to speak freely.
Also, Hurricane Matthew is planned to make landfall on the East Coast. What should we expect?
All this and more.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
To begin tonight's newscast, we go right to Mike Ayaza, who has important updates on Hurricane Matthew.
Florida residents are bracing for impact. Will we have some effects here in Connecticut, Mike?
That's right, guys. Yes, Hurricane Matthew is going to cause some problems for Florida and the surrounding states as it rips up the coast. But right now, we're going to focus on what we see right here in Hamden. Right now, we have a current temperature of 42%. That should stay about common throughout the night. We see winds of 2 miles per hour. That's going to bring a little bit more of chilliness to the air. Right now, today in Hamden, we saw temperatures of around 64, and the surrounding towns saw temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 60s. Stores hitting 66, Norwich 66. That's the highest temperature we saw in southern Connecticut today. All right, so we see on the Doppler right here, there's not that many storms coming through, so we're not going to see much in the way of rain within the next few days. But if we look over here, we are going to see tomorrow's forecast. Tomorrow's temperature is going to be around 73%. The wind chill is going to be about 2 miles per hour, so it's going to feel around 70, maybe a little bit less than that. Still wear your jackets, wear your jeans. It's still going to be a little bit chilly out. All right, so for the next 7 days, this is what the forecast is going to be. Thursday, we're going to see a high of 76, a low of 45. Friday, we're going to see a high of 74 and a low of 48. Saturday, we're going to see a high of 66, low of 53. That's going to be a nice day to go on a nice fall hike. Look at the leaves as they're changing colors. Sunday, we're going to see the same, 66, low of 46. Monday, we're going to see 64 as a high, 46 as a low. Tuesday, 70 as a high, 52 as a low, and all the way into Wednesday, 69 as a high, 49 as a low. The temperatures are going to stay kind of mild throughout the next week. It's going to stay about the same, mid to upper 60s. And as we look at the Doppler down in Florida, we can see that this is Hurricane Matthew right here, what they were talking about over at the desk and what I talked about in the beginning. We see this right here. This is what the hurricane is, causing a little bit of stress down in southern Florida right now. What this is going to do is it's going to move up the jet streams, up the east coast, and it's going to cause a little bit of problems throughout the weekend for us. There might be a little bit of rain. We're not going to see as much as the states down here is going to see. That's all I have for weather right now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Citizens in multiple states are on alert as sightings of killer clowns are on the rise.
The scare became real when rumors surfaced on Quinnipiac's own campus about clown spottings.
The official Quinnipiac University account tweeted to assure students that they were safe and clowns were not on campus, but other schools were not as lucky.
Q30's own reporters have a timeline of events and some recent spottings that are a little too close for comfort.
In the past few months, there have been countless reports of creepy clown sightings across the country. The first clown sighting was in Wisconsin in early August. Many became nervous after the picture of Gags went viral, but this clown ended up just being an actor working for an independent horror film. Since these first reports, clowns have been terrorizing people across the country, some even bearing weapons. The worst report is from Reading, Pennsylvania, where a 16-year-old boy was found stabbed to death with a clown mask on his head. Now, the clowns have taken to college campuses.
I heard that they were on the golf course, which is directly behind my dorm, and my window faces there, and I just heard screaming coming from there, and then I got Snapchats hearing that the whole campus was on lockdown. And then I got Snapchats of, they said that they broke into a sophomore dorm called Oakwood, and I got Snapchats of the shattered door.
So Sunday night, there was rumors going around that they saw a clown mask in a car, like in a person, right outside of a SHU residence house, like not on campus, but like in Bridgeport, the town next to us. And he was spotted there and someone took a picture. But apparently now they just sent an email around saying that everything that's been like talked about and like all the rumors going around, nothing's been like found by any police. So like as of right now, it's all rumors, but nothing's been like actually recorded yet.
The night after the clowns supposedly were seen at Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, rumors spread like wildfire across the Quinnipiac University campus that they were roaming Mount Carmel as well. Quinnipiac University quickly responded on Twitter, saying that the campus was secure and all campus operations are running smoothly.
I think it was kind of funny to watch social media and see the reactions of everybody, even though it was non-existent.
I think that the entire situation's blown out of proportion, but I do understand why people were scared, because it's not really something that you joke about, but in a lot of cases I think that students are making it into a joke, and that's the reason why these scares are happening on college campuses.
The threat of these clowns is surely an epidemic, and many towns in Connecticut and the surrounding states are taking the initiative of canceling clown costumes for Halloween of this year. I'm Mike Ioza reporting for Q30.
The Student Government Association surveyed students last year about how free they felt to share their voice. The results led CGA to hold the Student Speak event. Mike Iazzo has more.
On Monday, October 3rd, students came together in the Student Center atrium for the Student Speaks event, a gathering put on yearly by the SGA.
So the Student Speak event is about giving students at Quinnipiac University a platform to sort of express themselves freely, be it artistically, religiously, and politically. Historically, students on this campus feel that they can't express themselves, and that's an issue. Where we're all college students, and the fact that we can't express ourselves, or the fact that we feel judged when we do, that's not okay.
Students came together to sing, give motivational talks,
but never once did she ever mention anything she owned,
and speak on controversial issues.
I'm Muslim, I am a problem. It is stupid to think that because I'm Muslim, I am different than any one of you here tonight.
Students enjoyed the event, expressing how they felt it was a good stress outlet for anyone performing, and described most acts as very eye-opening.
Music is one of my favorite things, like my favorite outlet, and I figured what a better way to do it than come to something that's specifically to get yourself out a little bit.
I think that it's good that students have a chance to kind of speak their voice. I mean, you hear a lot, especially now recently, that diversity and everything like that, it's just like very lacking here.
This event was a huge success, and the SGA plans on running it again for years to come. I'm Mike Ioza reporting for Q30.
The Quinnipiac community came together for a day of service in the Hamden and New Haven area this past Saturday. 13 teams headed out to 6 different sites in the area, giving a helping hand in projects such as outdoor cleanup, planting, and even chair building, just to name a few. Many of the volunteers who had participated had not been registered before the event, and students were treated to a free breakfast and lunch for their efforts.
The first annual Diamond Heist tournament was held this past Saturday. This was sorority Alpha Delta Pi's first ever heist, also known as Capture the Flag event. In the past, they held an event called Diamond Dash, a 5K. The rules followed traditional guidelines, and many organizations created teams. At the end of the tournament, Kappa Delta came out on top, although technically Fiji won. They donated the money to Kappa Delta's philanthropy. The heist event raised money for the Ronald McDonald House Charities. The exact amount has not yet been released. Still to come on the Q30 Newscast, a traveling African-American museum makes a stop at Quinnipiac.
Along with the train crashes into a platform and a boy is found at sea. More to come.
Stay with us.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike's sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q-Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's. Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast.
Next up, the Sankofa African American Museum on Wheels has paid Quinnipiac a visit. Q30's own Bev Wakiaga has the story.
The Sankofa African American Museum on Wheels was on campus this past Tuesday. Students, faculty, and staff had the opportunity to look at artifacts pertaining to African American history.
It starts in Africa, go through the Middle Passage, through slavery. There's also a cotton museum. We do a lynching museum, famous Black Americans, and the Civil Rights Movement, and our ultimate victory, President Barack Obama.
Jennings was inspired after she gave her nephew, a straight-A student, a quiz on African American history that he could not answer. She felt there was a need to teach people about their history.
Most of the time, when they come in, it's something they've never seen or know nothing about, and especially the inventions.
The museum comes 2 weeks after the racially insensitive Snapchat incident on campus. For a few students, it was an event they never thought they would see at Quinnipiac.
I mean, seeing it at QU means a lot. Like, you wouldn't expect to see, like, I didn't expect to see this. When I got the email last night, I was really excited to come and stop by. And then walking in there, it was just like, you know, everything I've learned in elementary and high school about Black history and all that. This is me actually walking in and seeing it in pictures and art, seeing actual artifacts. It means a lot.
For other students, it provided an educational opportunity that they hoped would be repeated in the future.
Yeah, that would be really cool, actually, even from all different types of cultures, not just the African American community. I think if we were to bring together all cultures and, you know, have a lot of diversity, that'd be really interesting.
For Q30 News, I'm Beverly Wakiaga.
Kirby, Election Day is getting closer, and this presidential race always seems to surprise us.
I know, Kerry. Tuesday night was the first and only vice presidential debate.
And there's more on Trump's tax returns. John McMahon has our political update. John?
Thanks, guys. In political news, last night was the first and only vice presidential debate. Democrat Tim Kaine and Republican Mike Pence held a good debate at Longwood University in Farmville, Virginia. Pence's performance was praised quite opposite of his running mate's debate performance during the presidential debate. You could tell he was well prepared and kept his cool when Kaine baited him. It was like the vice presidential candidate's performance were opposite of their running mates. Kaine was criticized for being aggressive and interrupting Pence often throughout the night, which was similar to Trump in the presidential debate. Issues like national security, tax codes, and Trump's previous rhetoric were the major themes of the night. Going into the debate, Pence was left with cleaning up Trump's mess, and Americans thought he did the job. Pence did Kaine's tax seem petty and repetitive, just like Hillary did in Trump's tax in the presidential debate. CNN instant polls show that 48% of viewers who watched the debate believe that Pence won, and 42% thought Kaine won. In other news, Trump's finally revealed his tax returns after much controversy. He declared a $916 million tax loss in income tax in 1995, a loss so big he would not have to pay federal income tax for approximately 18 years. The tax records from the mid-90s reveal that Trump received huge tax benefits from his failures in Atlantic City with casinos, the failure with the purchase of airlines, and the poorly timed purchase of the Plaza Hotel in New York City. Trump's taxable income over the years is still a mystery. This information questions Trump's credibility as a businessman running for president and makes many wonder, what else are you hiding? That's it for politics, guys. Let's go back to the desk.
Quinnipiac sorority Phi Sigma Sigma, along with fraternity Pi Kappa Phi, co-hosted a beach volleyball tournament at the York Hill volleyball courts this past Saturday. Sets on the Beach is an annual philanthropy event held to raise money for the Phi Sigma Sigma Foundation. The foundation consists of two branches. The first supports children who can't get the school supplies that they need due to their economic situation. The second supports victims of disaster relief. Participants were treated to grilled cheese, and fraternity Sigma Phi Epsilon was crowned the champion. The tournament raised over $1,000 and was a great success.
Alpha Chi Omega hosted their major event of the year on Sunday, Frisbee Fest. Students competed in an ultimate Frisbee tournament on the quad, raising money to donate to BH Care's Umbrella Center for Domestic Violence Services. Not only did students get to play Frisbee, they also got to pie in Alpha Chi, partake in raffles, and purchase food from food trucks. Fraternity Sigma Phi Epsilon won the tournament.
Students gathered in Burt Con Friday night for a night of boardwalk fun. Bobcat Boardwalk, hosted by SGA, had airbrush tattoos, carnival games, sunglass decorating, a wave runner, photo booth, and most importantly, popcorn and cotton candy.
Still to come on the Q30 Newscast, your full weather forecast.
And everything in entertainment, from album releases, celebrity robberies, and yes, a Pitt and Jolie divorce update. Stay with us.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's. Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is. It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time.
And we're back. We're going to toss right over to Caitlin Wardlow, who has our national news for the week.
Thanks, guys. A train bound for Hoboken, New Jersey this week crashed into a passenger concourse around 8:45 this past Friday. This train sped past its stopping point and crashed into the platform. Why the train was unable to stop has not yet been determined, but investigators have recovered an event recorder from the wreckage and hope to use it as evidence. Train service was suspended immediately after the crash to and from the Hoboken station, which is one of the main transportation stops in the New York City area. A mother and son went out on their usual fishing trip off the coast of Rhode Island last weekend, but the events of the weekend were far from ordinary. The 22-year-old son, Nathan Carmen, was found floating on a lifeboat in the open water. Carmen was picked up by a Chinese freighter about 100 miles north of Martha's Vineyard. Carmen's mother, Linda, is still lost. A search held by the Coast Guard has ended. An investigation is underway to confirm that Carmen was not involved with the disappearance of his mother. That's it for national news. Back to you at the desk.
In entertainment news, Kim Kardashian was robbed. And of course, your Angelina and Brad update. Our entertainment reporter, Elena, has the details. Elena?
Starting off our entertainment news, Kanye West walks off in the middle of his concert at the Meadows in Queens. Didn't go over well until people found out why. West learned his wife, Kim Kardashian, was robbed while in Paris, France. She was staying at an apartment there when it all went down. Kim's bodyguard and her driver dropped her off at the apartment garage. Kim went up to her apartment where 5 people dressed as law enforcement robbed her at gunpoint, stealing $10 million worth of jewelry. There was no security at the apartment, and Kim's usual bodyguard was not there because he went out with Kourtney Kardashian. Lady Gaga announced she will be touring for her new album, Joanne. She has partnered with Bud Light for her tour and will appear at bars this week to complement the album's raw Americana vibe. The tour will open Wednesday in unreleased location, where Gaga will sing Perfect Illusion and Million Reasons from the album. The album incorporates funk and country style elements with its pop fundamentals, but Gaga said this record was for her to try and figure out where she was in the world and what her next move in life would be. Bud Light will be streaming the performances live on their Facebook. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's divorce is actually cooling down. It's been almost 2 weeks since Pitt and Jolie announced their divorce. The temporary agreement gives Jolie sole custody of the kids and gives Pitt visitation rights. It's really over, folks. It all started when an incident occurred on an airplane. Pitt was aggressive toward his son, Maddox. Both spouses are attending counseling and are solely worried about their children's well-being. That's all for your entertainment news. Now back to the desk.
Still to come, MJ Baird has the full sports report.
And we'll say goodbye for the evening, but don't go anywhere yet.
I could really go for a Ray and Mike sub right now.
Come to Ray and Mike's and try our Philly chicken and cheese for just over $4. Giant cheesesteak subs and mouth-watering boar's head sandwiches for as low as $4.75. Q Cash accepted just a mile down the road on Whitney, here at Ray and Mike's. Good evening and welcome to Sports Pause.
In the end, we're here to win the championship this year.
Jess Fontaine now has that. She's going to take a ripper off the post, but she's going to come back.
And my number one, hold your applause, Bobcats fans, is Quinnipiac.
All right, Victoria, you know what time it is? It's top 5 plays of the week.
My favorite time. Welcome back. Finally, we have Kirby's favorite part of the show.
Let's toss it over yonder to my good friend MJ Baird, who has your sports segment for the week.
Kirby, thank you. Let's jump right into sports now. Quinnipiac Volleyball had a big winning streak going on coming into this weekend, a program record 6 games. On top of that, the Bobcats came into the weekend undefeated in conference play and tied for first place in the MAC. The Bobcats hosted number 7 ranked Canisius on Saturday and number 5 ranked Niagara on Sunday. Not only was a 6-game win streak on the line, but in each of its 4 wins prior to Saturday, Quinnipiac won their matches in straight sets. Against the Golden Griffins, the Bobcats took care of business. The first 2 sets were close, with Quinnipiac winning 25-23 and 25-20 respectively. In the third set, the Bobcats closed out the match with confidence, picking up their 7th straight victory. On Sunday, the Niagara Purple Eagles looked to put a halt to the Quinnipiac run. It took 5 sets, and that they did. Quinnipiac and Niagara exchanged sets back and forth, and the crucial 5th set ended with Niagara taking home the win. Natalie Aleko got injured in practice on Friday, and the freshman did not appear in either game for the Bobcats. As of the news today, though, she does have that right foot boot off, Over to the pitch now. Quinnipiac women's soccer picked up 2 MAC wins this week, evening its conference record at 2-2. Wins against Fairfield and Marist at home improved the Bobcats' record to 6-4-1 overall, and the Bobcats do remain undefeated at home. Dave Clark's squad travels to Manhattan tonight. The Jaspers also sport a 2-2 record. Freshman Allie Grunstein took home MAC Rookie of the Week honors for the Bobcats. As for the men, Eric DaCosta and company picked up their first conference win at Marist on Saturday. the Bobcats improved to 1-1 in the MAC on the season. However, just a few hours ago, the Bobcats took the field hosting the Jaspers of Manhattan. Eamon Whalen scored his team-leading 6th and 7th goals of the season. Ryan Scheiderman also got the scoring started for the Bobcats with a penalty kick goal in the first half. Quinnipiac went on to win the game 4-0 and move up to 2-1 in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. Now, up to the ice. The women's ice hockey team opened its regular season this weekend against the University of Maine. The teams played both Friday and Saturday nights. Let's take a look at the action. As I said, this is the Saturday night game I'm about to show you, but on Friday night, Quinnipiac taking the game 5-4. 4 unanswered goals for the Bobcats. We'll take to the first period action now. Save here from Carly Jackson of the University of Maine. And the goaltending battle just really went back and forth. Sydney Rossman making a save here. We'll head to the second period, though. Mackenzie Lancaster behind the net. I'll show you this play in just a second. Lancaster behind the net with a no-look pass. She puts us out to TT Cianfrano in the back of the net for the goal. A little later on in the second period, Quinnipiac up 1-0 after that goal. A little bit later on, we'll show you Quinnipiac's third goal. Megan Turner passed the puck to Samoskevich. Melissa Samoskevich finds the top shelf. That's a goal. We'll head to the third now. Mackenzie Prater, she finds Randy Marcone in front of the net. Marcone with a chance to put one in, but good save there by Carly Jackson from University of Maine. And a little later on in the third period, Sydney Rossman just getting another save. She gets her first shutout of the season. Plenty of shutouts last year for Rossman, looking to be another big contender for this Bobcats team this year as they look to improve upon their record season last year. The Bobcats were picked 3rd in the USCHO.com poll this week. That is 1 spot up from last week's preseason rankings. As for the men, Rand Peckno's team opened action in an exhibition game this weekend. McGill University trekked down from Canada, and Quinnipiac sent them back empty-handed. The Bobcats, under new leadership from Connor Clifton and Landon Smith as captains, defeated the Redmen 2-1. For the second straight week, the Bobcats were picked number 2 overall in the USCHO poll. Quinnipiac opens its regular season this upcoming weekend with a pair of home matchups against Northeastern. That's all I got. Kirby, back to you.
Before we go, we're joined at the desk with Mike for one last reminder of what we're going to be dealing with this weekend. Mike?
We will have a temperature in the low 40s for tonight, but it will feel colder because of the wind chill. Tomorrow is going to be a little warmer with temperatures throughout the day from low to mid 70s. The rest of the week is looking up with temperatures in the 70s, mostly sunny skies. Next week, we might see some effects of Hurricane Matthew making its way towards us as we move on to the week.
Thanks, Mike. And that about does it, Kirby.
Before we go, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30 News and check out our website, Q30television.com, for more weekly news.
Thanks for tuning in to Q30 Newscast.
I'm Kirby Paulson.
And I'm Kerry Golden.
Thank you and have a pleasant tomorrow.